Good evening. I just have a few housekeeping items that actually I'll go through them very quickly because they've already been mentioned.
Ron,
The only thing I like is that you purchase Ford vehicles, Mr. Campana. They're American. They're union made. But Ford vehicles at $98,000. There's still no cameras at 41. The gates are open. I hear a parent telling me about 27 schools. I hope that the chiefs or the Pope or whoever rides around in these vehicles will close the gates. Can we get some cameras at the schools? We talked about this before. We have schools in very up-and-coming neighborhoods and that were former industrial neighborhoods, so they're newer schools. 3, 4, used to be factories down there. You have all the technology and the cameras. Can we get some modern equipment in the older buildings?
Come on, give
Not
us a
VHS
break.
nonsense that doesn't work. Security is an issue. Facilities. You know, I was in a school the other day down on Duncan Avenue, the old 17 school. And I always look at the cornerstones when I go in. 1898, I believe it is. They had indoor plumbing in 1898. So why there's an indoor facility where the toilet bowl is here and it should be there, and the leaders of the building tell me, well, it's been that way for a year and a half. A toilet sitting in the middle of a floor.
What?
One would think that facility matters should be addressed immediately, especially the lack of soap when I went in there. First of all, I couldn't use the facility. I had to go to the nurse's office and wait for the children to leave. No soap. We have an Ebola crisis that's around the globe, the enterovirus situation, and other illnesses. This should be a priority. The flu season has been upon us. These are schools. And again, I respect Mr. Shapiro. He's sitting over here. I have had conversations with him in the past about the pre-K situations and things like that. And I always say it to people, if you ever came in these buildings and saw where your children, well, some children, not all the schools are like
You know that's right.
the filthy situations and conditions that they endure. I was in a building in Greenville yesterday with frozen apples and disgusting sugary Toasty O's and animal crackers. Meanwhile, I was in a school downtown a few weeks ago. I felt like I was at IHOP.
Probably have filet mignon.
Regarding resolutions 10.03 and 10.04 on your agenda, I was just curious, would they indicate if a department within your Board of Ed is operating with a deficit? In other words, are you, board members, the ladies and gentlemen who sit here, are you notified if there are any departments operating with a deficit? I'm just curious about that. Are all the consultants that you hire, Pearson, $1,900 a day, speakers for $8,400 where we're paying for lodging and meals, and they're personal friends of people sitting up here from other states? Is all that on the board agenda?
No.
It's supposed to be legally. And I'll end on this because my colleagues touched upon many issues that I don't have to cover. But I hear what Mr. Shapiro is saying, and I respect what he's saying. And I encourage the folks behind me to listen when people speak, even though it's tempting to yell because it's an emotional issue. But I hear you, sir, and I understand what you're saying, and I respect what you're saying. Unfortunately, whether you agree, disagree, and I always say this, New Jersey is a blue state. It's a union state, whether you agree with it or not. Those are the laws. I didn't write the laws. We're governed by a contract. We are public workers. There is something called EPP, Established Past Practice. So since 1971 or 72, the report card evenings began at 6:30. Last year, we did comply with Dr. Lyles. She did call me. She said I wanted to be at 6 o'clock. We complied. We did. We followed the protocols. We filed a grievance on October 21st, 2013. To date, the district refuses to hear it. No one up in that Human Resources Department, because it's a carousel of people coming and going, will hear the grievance. So we did go to PERC. We had 3 conferences there through all of the attorneys. Now we have, Ms. Blackburn is here as the legal counsel. This started back when Scott Evelyn was here, then it went under Deborah Shannon, now Ms. Blackburn is here. PERC directed us. They said, Mr. Taylor, Mr. Greco, are you in negotiations? Yes, we are. Take your 6:30 issue and negotiate it since you are at the bargaining table. Now, I have all the dates, which I'm going to email to you, Dr. Lyles, because Dr. Dakar stated in the newspaper on Tuesday, I believe it was, that you're open for dialogue. I'm glad to hear that, and I'm going to wrap this up. Because every time we met in your office, you told me it's not up for discussion. It's not up for negotiation. I can't back down on this.
Thank you, Mr. Greco.
So, with closing, I will email you the dates because I was in your office. We did discuss this. And the other day, I was about 15 feet
Mr. Greco,
from you on the 8th floor.
we have a number of
We had an
speakers tonight.
opportunity to
We've
speak.
given everybody
So
5
I will
minutes.
give you a call,
Thank
and
you.
we can set that meeting up. So,
Thank you.
Thank you for your support. Thank you for the board members who are going out. for the
Maleta
service.
and go.
Again, we are professionals. We always look forward to working with you. Work with us.
Kevin Reed.